Everybody. My name is Sarah. Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, under 20 total carbs every day. But today, my total, not net carbs are 6.6. Kind of like the devil, isn't it? And I like it low like that. So there's still a presence of green leafy veggies for some nutrition and great oils to shuttle them through my body, but I'm not overloaded with any kind of carbs that have nothing to do with green leafies, really. My my carbs get a little bit higher on the weekend when I have different veggies from the Big Green Egg Sunday steak and veggie dinner. And on Saturday, I have the incredible keto pizza. And so that has some carbs in it from the, almond flour and the carbs. So here we are, and we're getting towards mid-August. It does go fast. I know it goes fast. It always goes fast. This is not news to me ever, being an old lady living on Cape Cod, working in the tourist industry for most of my adult life, beginning as a server and a bartender and working for catering companies and moving on into the hotel business, being a night auditor and desk clerk and being a realtor and doing rental properties for other owners and things like that. So I've always, been aware of the summer tourist industry. And this has been quite the summer. I've had more days inside than outside. And even though we have all kinds of beautiful, wonderful summer fun activities, I'm really not partaking in them this year. No reason. It's just I like my little schedule. I like what I do. I like my keto coaching business that I do in the morning, and then throughout the afternoon sporadically. But most of my activity and busyness is during the morning, and then putting together the foods that Greg and I have, and shopping for them and prepping them. It's just a nice little lifestyle, and because of because of my skin cancers, I'm not hanging out at the beach, and my boating is not as frequent as Greg's is. But it is what it is, and I'm quite content. I go to my 12-step meetings, and I have my friends and people there, and then my keto community here, which keeps me hopping. Have to say hopping. So I like my life. It's nice. It's quiet. It's content. And I like that word content because I used to attract chaos like mosquitoes on a cookout at night, campfire. So I've got some wonderful foods happening today, and I'll explain them in a second. These are my macros for the day. I've got 1,328 calories. Protein is 43.6, and carbs are 6.6, and fats are 110. And that works for me. So what am I having? Well, I'm having my great big green leafy bowl of lettuces with 4 tablespoons of oil, 2 macadamia nut, and 2 extra virgin olive oil that I just love. My new Redmond salt and cracked black pepper on the salad. And it's just as simple as it can be. Also having a pork chop, and I saute/fry it up in coconut oil, organic coconut oil, and that's my OMAD. And I will be having that, well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning now, and I will be having that at 3 this afternoon. And then I work the next 2 overnights. And so that all works for me, makes me happy, and there you have it. So with my keto family, who have I been listening to? Well, I've been listening to this mystery woman who will be revealed, and by the time you watch this video, she has been revealed, and there will be the story behind why it's happening that way. I see more and more and more people either doing long-term fasts or going carnivore from their former keto lifestyle. It's very, very interesting. As of this time, I have no desire, but I do like watching them, and I do like hearing how they feel. And I think that if I mean, it just, I like my food. I like it at 3 o'clock. It just works for me. I hear my stomach growling now because that's what it usually does. When I'm working, it's usually an hour earlier. It's usually 2:30 to 3:30 that my stomach kind of makes noises. And because I'm awake doing the overnight, I can sense it. So it feels like things are digesting. Um, and so I have no complaints. I've taken off zero point 0.6 pounds of that water retention that has been plaguing me since the heat index has been way up there. And I just can't get upset about it. It's water retention. I haven't done anything different. My foods are just almost the same week after week on the same Fiesta plate with the same scale that I'm weighing and measuring. And it just all continues to work for me. I'm very happy. I'm satiated. I got a chance to watch Tammy Keto and the Chaos live yesterday. I've watched Mike Keto Mad, a couple of his, and I've who else have I listened to? Oh, a Dr. Lustig one, and that works too. And so I do all of my video watching when I can. Yeah, life is happy. It's hot, it's humid, so I stay inside and I do my catching up with people. I like to listen to peers as well as the professionals talk about keto and the foods and the things that they use. I honor all types of keto. If you're still doing the things that I just do videos on, just telling you the benefits of giving up some of the chemicals and additives and the seed oils like canola and soybean that are in bottled salad dressings, things like that. I just encourage you to do it. And I figure, well, maybe you didn't hear it in the first, 100 videos that I've mentioned it, but maybe by the time we get to the 101th, you will go, you know what? I'm just going to try. Maybe there's something to it. I know that I always need to improve my food plan too. I still have Xyla and also erythritol in my 2 cups of coffee, and I don't use it anywhere else. And I usually say because I like my coffees really, really strong. It just like takes a swipe at some of that bitterness, and I like it. And I've had it that way forever. Although at one point in my life I did drink black coffee. I don't know who I was then, but I did it for a long time. So anyway, it just, the way that I'm doing it works. Sometimes I tweak. Somebody pointed out to me, you talk about organic and grass-fed, and then you go and you have, the packets of au jus and ranch when you're making your Mississippi roast. And it was like, that took care of that. They were absolutely right. And so now I don't add them. And when I have my leftover stew, which is basically the same thing with ground beef instead of chuck roast, it all tastes the same. I have great desires to do exercise, but I have to admit I'm not partaking in it today. And it was kind of like Tammy in Keto and the Chaos was saying, I don't really do it. I'm active all day. That's what she says. That's what I say. And so between going downstairs into the basement and upstairs into the bedrooms and bathrooms to clean them and get dressed and all that kind of stuff, I'm doing quite a few sets of stairs. So it all just works. And, when something isn't broken, I guess I don't really feel the need to go and fix it. I like tweaking, but changing it all up, I'm kind of consistent. I kind of like things the way that I like them. And, it's not that I'm adverse or there's an aversion to change. It's just I like it simple, and I like going into my chronometer and copying the day's foods and my weight and moving it to the next Wednesday or the next Thursday or the next Saturday. And it just all works. Sometimes I change it up when we have things like salmon or swordfish, but for the most part, it's a pork chop day, it's a pizza day, it's a big green egg day, and it's a leftover stew day, and then it's beef for a couple of days, be it with the steak or the tenderloin or the cheeseburger soup or something like that. I don't know. Boring and consistent, but I'm here. And I'm encouraging all of you that don't have that peace and contentment in your day or your food plan or your foods, just trying to get your macros in order if you're paying attention to them, or your calories, and talking about behaviors like the nighttime eating, which serves no purpose. It spikes your insulin, and it's just a very bad habit. Or the scale obsession, or having the items that aren't nourishing, that there's no nutritional value in them, and kind of becoming willing to look at the willingness to give them up, if you know what I mean. Planting that seed, that's what I try to do. Plant that seed, so one day you might say, hey, maybe I'll only have one of those cans of those things, every 2 or 3 days instead of 1 or 2 a day. Just little changes. Changing the palate, that's what I say. Changing the palate from still craving that little bit of a sweet, even if it's an artificially chemical sweet, to getting used to savory and rich and buttery and just delicious foods that aren't adorned in any way by some sort of sweetener. It does make a difference, and it does change, and it stops cravings. That's the funny part, is stopping having the artificial sweeteners or the real deal sweeteners and giving them up. Then suddenly you're not used to them anymore, and the triggers go away. And you're not so interested in going onto Pinterest and seeing 955 ways how to, keto-fy something into being like the summer treat that you used to have when you weren't doing keto. And suddenly it just goes out of your life. It just dissolves and just flows away. And you're like, no. After I have my last bite of like a cookout, a steak or a hot dog or a burger or the salad that you brought to CYA because you know the ingredients, and you even brought your own oils so you know the ingredients, that's the end of that meal, the end of it. And as I've told many of you, how did I stop my nighttime eating or my, I always used to talk about my dessert compartment. It always could have dessert. Even if I was stuffed, which I usually did, I didn't stop at satiated. I had to go all the way to full food coma, stuffed, right? And then I'd still want that dessert of some sort because I was just acclimated to it. I was addicted to it. It was part of the habit and the routine. And so giving that up took some time, whittling it down. And I used to make, so when I entered keto, I made this like fat bomb kind of deal. And I was having that 3 times a week. And then I cut it down to 2 times a week. And then I cut it down to 1. And then there were none. And then so as soon as I'm done eating the OMAD, the 1 meal a day, then I do things like water pick or floss or mouthwash or brush my teeth with the electric toothbrush. I do things that say, you're done, girly. You're all set. You're done. Lights out for the food, for the kitchen. And I put the kitchen in the order that I like it when I wake up. I have my water, my lemon, my powdered mix of potassium and magnesium and Dr. Price's electrolytes. I have that all set. So when I wake up in the morning, I can begin my coffee, I can prep my water, and begin my delicious, wonderful day. Life is good. And that's how I like it. So thank you very much for watching. It's slow, it's consistent, it's predictable, and that's my keto lifestyle, and that's how you'll pretty much find these videos until I get pissy enough and cranky enough to do a keto smackdown on something when I see too much foolishness, and I don't want it to take a newbie out because of the permission they give them for things that might be keto approved, but are they really something you should be having early on in your keto? You know, many strong keto people that I don't see so much anymore, but they used to say things like, you don't have a keto-fied dessert until you're on maintenance. Yeah, they used to say that. One said, I'm not having anything keto-fied until I lose 100 pounds. 100 pounds, not a day and a half into keto. So be careful. I encourage you. I'm just an old broad with a little bit of wisdom on food and addiction. And so this is how I talk to you guys, just to encourage you. Keto, the way that it's laid out with meat, veggies, and oils and butters, is just fine the way it is. It ain't broke. I ain't gonna fix it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you the next time. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. And then the one-on-one, yes, it's at ketocoachingsarah.com. ketocoachingsarah.com, all lowercase. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.